Part 3 to our watching of
Goodness, baby.
If you saw us on YouTube, you saw a very cut version because we got right reasons for like the full uncut version of this. Handy films you can have a Patreon or channel go check that out and the part where we talk about the movie and review it. Okay. Let's finish this movie.
Let's go.
Although it sounds pretty primitive, but squatting is an excellent position for pushing.
बकवास मत करो, मैं तुम लोगों से डिलीट नहीं करूंगी।
Poor Rick would be crawling on the floor.
Yeah. honey, I'm coming.
कितनी सोनी है, बिल्कुल वरुण पे गई है ना?
हाँ, इसका माथा और आंखें बिल्कुल वरुण जैसी हैं।
Oh, that's where they're going to end it?
That's how they're going to end it?
All right. Yeah. No, I overall I did enjoy the film. It felt very quick ending though there, especially like
lazy ending.
Like she was having the baby and they're like and they all dance happily and I was like, "Oh no." Because like even though this had like a very Ayushman feel to the film, obviously it was there was very lighthearted about an intense subject, but in those films they always kind of addressed the overall heavy subject matter,
The conflict.
yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming what they did was like, well, yeah, the other one, they kind of resolved the differences and were like, she's carrying it. It's not just, because it's a complicated issue. They were all talking about it like the one with the sperm was their baby as opposed to they both, like the females has their DNA. It just has this other person's baby. So it's like a whole conversation you could have had about the validity of and I know they kind of addressed it, but I feel like it should have been like even like a short scene at the end of
There should have been something.
Something at the end. It was definitely a...
Yeah, but for such a complex issue, both morally and legally,
Yeah.
To just go and they lived happily ever after is extraordinarily lazy.
Yeah, it was because I enjoyed like thoroughly. I thought the film was fun. I thought the film was. I think a lot of the performances were really fun. Pooh, I think, was the standout acting performance, especially with that one monologue.
Yeah, her monologue was great. Yeah, it's a bronze for me, which means it's enjoyable, but I won't watch it again.
But I bet it would have been silver if it would have had a better ending, though.
Well, you would have needed to have done. No, I don't know. It still probably would have been enjoyable. I wouldn't. I don't think it would have ever fallen into the excellent realm. There wasn't anything about it that I thought was particularly excellent. I thought the story had a level of excellence to it because I loved the subject matter that it was covering. But I dislike the ending, which we just talked about. Yeah. And I also when you show me you don't care as a filmmaker, and I mean that for like the totality, whether it was direction, writing, producing, all of the above. When you show me you don't care, you can't ask me to care. And what I mean in that regard specifically is when you do something that is so outside the realm of possibility that you're telling me I need to believe something that is definitively impossible, and you miss the ethos and the pathos of the moment, which is the whole point of what they claim to be the resolution is caring for the child that was born prematurely, and it was lost. They didn't care to actually try to portray it in a way where you could even see there was an attempt to make it believable. They just went, here, accept this, and I don't. So.
Yeah, I totally understand that. It didn't bother because I've also never seen a baby portrayed correctly in a movie, a newborn, much less
never.
What movie? Literally every movie I've ever seen a newborn in, it's about a 1-year-old baby because
I've seen it before,
of course. But
I've been impressed with portrayals of births that was like, damn, they did a good job. That's a really young baby.
Which one?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can't either.
But I know that I have.
Every single film, Hollywood, India, wherever, it's always like, because of course you can't get a real baby for a newborn. Of course, right? Obviously, but theirs was a a recreation. So I do agree they definitely should have done their prosthetic, or wouldn't be called prosthetics.
Yeah, and the
it'd be called,
newborn, a newborn is I'm a little bit more forgiving of, because yes, you don't want to put the jeopardy of the life of a child in their hands. With a child 2 months premature that's supposed to be in the NICU. Not only did they not get anything remotely close in terms of what it looked like. I mean, they could have just done a model.
Yeah,
They could have just made a model.
You could have not shown
and then put wires and put it in an incubator. They didn't care.
But yeah, no. But other than that part, obviously, I do think that could have been done better. I don't think that was the point of the movie, but I definitely think the end should have been extended a little, which says something about the movie. It's like a lot of times Bollywood movies specifically too long.
Right.
It was like they're dragging it out. I was like, no, I need you to address that subject matter just a little more at the end.
Take the time out of a musical number
Yeah.
and use that time to actually create some type of a resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it was not done.
Yeah. 100%.
The rest of the movie, though, before we got to all that, I thought was actually a very enjoyable, fun movie that I know you said you wouldn't, but I would watch it again.
Yeah,
I think it would be
again.
a lot of fun. I think Steph would enjoy this movie. She would definitely point out that wasn't a 2 months premature baby, for sure. But that's every woman I've ever met in watching a movie where there's a newborn or a young child. We all know what it looks like. It's a very tough thing because it basically has to be a baby doll without looking like a baby doll, like a made. I don't know, it wouldn't be called prosthetics, but it'd be called silicone baby or whatever. But then you risk it looking like a silicone baby, and the youngest baby you can get is probably a month old, and those are way bigger than newborns. They gain so much weight in the first.
I'm trying to remember. There's one that Indrani and I saw recently. I'm trying to remember what it was, where we were really impressed with the believability of the newborn. You don't see, all the more reason to get it right. You don't see very often premature babies portrayed on film in a way at all, period.
It's usually what they do is just not show
They talk about them.
Yeah, like you'll see like they're holding and they might have made like a prosthetic head or something, or there's just you see him.
Would have been far better if all we had
To not see it.
If
basically.
all we had was the POV from inside the glass and you see Akshay walk up and we were never shown inside the NICU and we just saw his reaction, that would have been far, far superior. That would have been believable.
But I thought it was a fun movie, though. I enjoyed it. I thought I had a good time during it. It was super interesting because a lot of these people played very different characters. No, not Akshay. Akshay we've seen. Well, actually, I haven't seen him play an ass as much. He was funny, though. But, like, we haven't seen
And he's typically the primary funny. And that
he's
yeah,
typically Diljit. Like,
right. And Diljit's the primary funny guy.
Yeah, like the over the top.
Right.
Even though he was, obviously,
Right.
at times. I think we've seen Pooh more in this character.
Speaking of Diljit, I would really like to know the scene where he did have his head covered because he was wearing the ski cap. Was it a ski
I think it
cap,
was
a beanie?
I think it was a beanie.
But is that
Common
obviously
practice.
he had to stay covered for cinema.
For the film, yeah.
But would Diljit or anyone who wears that
That's sick, yeah.
Yeah, would they with their spouse,
Are they allowed to see it?
are they allowed to see that?
The hair.
Yeah. And
Or-
if they
or
is
common
they
practice at night to wear like a do-rag or
right, or when they take it off, do they have to also take the hair down?
I assume the spouse can see it because
Me too.
I would think they would help them put the turban.
Yeah, and I would think that they're
But
the
I
only
don't
one
know.
who could see it.
But
But
I don't know.
I'd like to know that.
Yeah.
I'd really like to know because I'm ignorant.
Yeah.
All I saw was he's wearing something that I wouldn't sleep in.
Yeah.
But the point of
They
that
might.
is, they very well, that might be what they do.
Um,
And even if the wife can see it, it might just be so much trouble, especially if you have to get up and do something early in the morning, that you just don't take your hair down, but you keep it covered.
I wouldn't be shocked if sick people wear do-rags.
Yeah, for sure.
'Cause obviously
At home.
black people
Or showering.
do-rags to keep their hair moist and to not dry out at nighttime. or during the day. It's very common practice. I mean, even there's white people that have curly hair because we have curly hair and black people's hair is actually quite similar. It needs a lot of moisture.
A lot of moisture.
And so I've never worn one, but I do know people that aren't black that do wear them. So it wouldn't shock me if Sikh people.
Yeah,
might
I'd like
wear-
to know because
wear
I want to know
do-rags.
I'd like to know the truth about that.
But I thought they all did really nice performances. They all had really nice moments, especially Pooh. I think that was a standout standout moment in the film.
It
for
was
sure.
written really well, and that moment was really good.
It came from a lady who's been a mom before and been
Yeah.
pregnant, and
Yeah.
that was coming from a deep place. You could tell.
Yeah.
Like she was like, not that I don't know if her husband at the time, it was Saif. Saif's the one she has all the kids with, right?
I thought so.
Or did she have kids with somebody
No,
else?
I thought so.
Hopefully Saif was not as ignorant as Akshay at times in this. But obviously, being a woman and being pregnant, it was probably pretty easy to be able to tap into.
Yeah, that you didn't have
that
to go far
emotion.
for that one. No substitution involved with that.
No. You're like, this is what this is doing to my body, and you're having a hard time. But
Yeah,
I thought
they had the resolution served on a silver platter. All you needed to do to write that final scene is have the ladies tell the men what they agreed to when they had their pleasant get together that obviously went well, whereas the guys didn't. That's all you could have done it right there in the room. And you could have started having Akshay and Diljit getting a little bit of a fight, and the girls go, guys, not now. And here's what we're gonna do, and the guys agree.
Yeah.
Could have. I wish they'd done that. Anyway,
Yeah, I feel like the
Anyway.
resolution at the end could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Or been there at all.
yeah, been there at all. Yeah,
Because that was.
but I love this. I love the subject matter.
It was a disappointing because the subject matter was good.
The subject matter's great.
You just, since you're deciding to go into it, I feel like you need to talk about
Right.
and
How this resolved.
I get it that I think the resolution was that they're keeping the babies that they carried, but talk about it some. I feel like that could be a great, because if this was like an Ayushmann film, that would have happened. Every Ayushmann film that it's very similar to style comedy, very commercially friendly, open to the masses to be able
Yeah.
to talk about abortions and IVF and what makes your child your child.
Who
and-
gets to say family imprinting and
Yeah.
saying what they want. There's
Yeah.
a lot of great stuff.
a lot of, and obviously I think they did some, but there should have been something. It was a Bollywood film like Mimi did it.
Much better.
Like at the end of Mimi, there was big moments.
Much better film.
At the end of Mimi.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my biggest disappointment with is the ending, because I was like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you were doing well, and I was enjoying it. And then I feel like it was kind of almost a cop out.
It was lazy.
To not resolve, like not at least talk about it. Sure, you might have resolved it, but you need to. It deserved a little bit more of a conversation.
You bet.
The subject matter did.
You bet.
Even in a commercial film.
Yeah.
That is, I don't think the main point of it is to not be entertaining. I think their main point was to be entertaining, but
that's the thing. Like Rajkumar Rao films, or
not Rajkumar Rao.
Yeah, his films, which are
Ayushmann.
more serious, and Ayushmann films. There's always, especially with Ayushmann, there's these.
Or even Akshay, we saw the Padman.
Yeah. That has believable resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was strange that
Yeah.
they didn't want to do that. Be interesting to talk to somebody
But
about
it's a win that it's a film we watched and actually can say that we predominantly found enjoyable.
I did, yeah.
That's a win.
Like I said, I would watch it. I think Stephanie would enjoy it. I think she'd have a good time with it. She loves all these. And she doesn't know Kiara Advani or Diljit as much, but she definitely knows Pooh. Pooh's very big in our house. We love Pooh.
As she should be.
Bebo is probably my daughter's favorite song.
Is it? How cute.
Unfortunately, Alexa, you need to pronounce it Bebo.
I
order
heard.
to
Yeah,
get
you
him
told
to,
me that. That's a little weird. And I got my gratification of watching Akshay swimming in the water, man.
There you go.
Got the Aquaman.
My daughter calls the Bebo song the Bebo me Bebo. Alexa,
Love it.
Bebo me Bebo.
Love it. That's good.
I would love to talk to her. I think she is a very good actor.
Oh, my stars. I'd love to talk
and
to
a
her.
gorgeous lady.
I'd love to talk to her. I'd love to talk to, obviously, all four of those people. But I would especially love to talk to Akshay and Beba. But again, my Akshay conversation's got to be in the water and preferably on horseback.
With a joint.
That can add that to it.
Who do you think are the biggest stoners in Bollywood?
I don't think Akshay.
I'm almost 100% confident Ranveer and Deepika smoke up. I'm almost 1,000% sure.
I'd bet money on it.
I think Ali would. I don't know if Ranveer would.
No way. I think
he's a little more conservative.
He's too conservative and proper. I don't think so.
But I could be wrong. I think he might have done it in his younger years.
We might be shocked.
Might be
to
totally
find
wrong
out.
there. But I know Ranveer and Deepika definitely do.
Yeah.
Shahid, I don't know actually.
I know because he's very clean cut, and he talked about how he'd never done anything when he had to betray a drug addict.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
It may not. He seems like he'd be the guy.
Anyark does in interviews.
He rolls up while he's talking to you.
Diljit, I don't know. I don't know about Diljit actually. Because of his religion, I don't know.
I could see Kareena and Safe, 100%.
Dude, that'd be an awesome joint
awesome.
rotation. Kareena and Saif. SRK would be another really good one. I bet SRK smokes up. Do you think SRK?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't think he.
If he doesn't,
I don't think he would ever admit it.
If he doesn't, I think he's the guy that if it came around the circle, he'd go, sure, why not?
I don't think he'd ever admit it.
You've seen the video footage of the guy. It was at the Super Bowl halftime, and the security guard was by Snoop, and Snoop was smoking a joint, and he goes like that and hands it to the security guard uniform, and the security guard, because you don't say no to Snoop.
No. I'll lose my job before I say no to a joint rotation.
It's legal in California, although he might have gotten busted for doing it on the job.
Now I want a joint rotation in Bollywood joint rotation.
We can make our interviews much more interesting.
Oh man, that would be awesome. Come to California. They could never.
Instead of hot wings,
yeah.
we could just make ours. You get lit when you're getting baked with our interviews.
Unfortunately,
why hasn't Snoop done that?
If
anybody had a show where you would have conversations while you're getting baked, it's Snoop.
Yeah, it's true. Anyways, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the watch along. Obviously, let us know what should be our next Hindi watch along. Let us know what you thought about the movie. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, what your thoughts on it are. Why we're idiots. As always, it all helps the algorithm, as you know. Let us know what our next Hindi watch along should be. Who was that person on the plane? Let me know that.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I am confused.
I don't know who that was, but I know the face.
Let me know who that is. And anything else we need to know down below.